Hey there guys, Mad Machinist59 here, and this is going to be the start of the series of videos, or the one video or two videos, however many it takes, to fitting these Chinese, Japanese, Taiwanese, this cheap headlight setup in your second gen Dodge Ram 2500 specifically for me, probably 1500. This is for your non-sport model. If you got a sport, this is probably going to bolt right up. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure. Either way, this is for a non-sport. You probably will need modifications, probably have different bulb setups, but here we go. So, the high beam in this is an H7. Low beam is a 9005. This here is your H7 bulb for the HID setup. This is the 9005. This is what it comes with originally. This is your H7, obviously, your 9005, which they somehow seal in there something, because I broke this just trying to pull it out. Still cannot get it out. Then again, I don't really care because these aren't getting used like that. So, this is what I have to show you guys. We'll start with the high beam just because I know that's the one that you guys need to see for sure. So, if you can see the thickness between right here and this metal, look inside and you can see what I'm talking about. Right there. So that thickness translates to right here, what you can see right in this area, minus the 30 or so thousandths that is this metal. That has a clip that sits down inside that piece. I'll flip the headlight around and show you a little bit. This sits very well in there. It sits great. It's made for it, obviously. Your HIDs, at least if you go with the cheap brand like I did, you're going to notice that may seem close, but it's really not, because the thickness of this plastic is a lot more than that of this metal bulb. You can see, well, you can't really see from the light, but there's a difference. It's enough to kind of annoy you when you're putting this together. I'll flip the headlight around and show you what I'm talking about. Now here we are with the headlight flipped, as you would be seeing it from the back side here. This is your H7, your projector, I believe. Yes, H7 is your projector. Your 9005 is your normal reflector housing. So, as you can see right here, this clip may look a little funky to you. My phone will focus on it for us. The reason for that is, as I just explained, the thickness is a little bit different with this. And I'll pop this bulb out and pop this one in just to show you guys what I'm talking about. As you can see, surprisingly enough, the H7 came out of its socket. I was actually surprised. Anyway, you can see how the clip sits now. Very relaxed. It doesn't really have any extreme angles to it, and you can see how nicely it sits down into this little, I don't even know what you want to call it, recessed area. And I'm going to swap back to the HID bulb just so you can get an idea of what we're doing here. Now, as you can see, the clip isn't even on, but you can see that there's a very big difference here. The way it sits down inside is actually, you have to kind of finagle it. You have to, this bottom arm will sit in there no issue. Got the bulb kind of coming out of place here. The bottom arm will sit in there no issue, but you do kind of have to drag the top arm down. And then while missing the connector itself, I don't know what that was, I hope something wasn't breaking. You can see it kind of wants to fight you. This is something a person could probably do with one hand. I'm going to try it, but it's very difficult because this connector is so much larger. And I can get close, but it's a real pain. The easiest thing to do is to pull out your Leatherman. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to do this on camera, but it's easiest with the Leatherman or a needle nose, whatever you can find, to grab it somewhere like this, push it down, and then twist it back, because it's going to want to hit that housing on the outside, and then push it up underneath. And you can see, compared to this setup here, The other bulb, I believe it actually sits lower in the housing. This here sits down here, more relaxed. If you take the Leatherman or the needle nose, I'm sure you could get this to sit down there like such. You just give it a little bit of motivation and it will, but you can see it rubbed right here. So that's one thing you're going to have to watch for. Yeah. I don't know if my autofocus just messed you guys up or not. I hope I didn't. Or I hope it didn't. So that's that modification you're going to need to make. And I suggest when you're working on this, put it on some kind of a rag because the lens will scratch easily. I can almost guarantee it. The next modification you're going to need to make is with this bulb here, the 9005. When you look at it, you can't really tell so much of a difference, but I can guarantee you whether it's that way from the Taiwanese factory or whatever, the thickness is different between the bulbs. You can see let's get it on the right side here. I don't know if I've got the right bulb. I should. 9005 XS. These are 9005s. The bulbs are a little bit different, but this is also the Taiwanese, Taiwan, China stuff. So, consider the source. I am assuming this little hump right here is if we're looking at this bulb, this is same here. There is a thickness difference. I can see it on camera, especially where the bump is. But you'll definitely notice it when you put the bulb into the housing. I wish I had the other headlight out now so you could see it, but I haven't pulled it out yet. You get movement. Right now there's not any. Because what I did is I removed the two screws here, and I slightly bent. Well, actually, I kind of, to an extreme angle, I bent these little metal tabs. I bent a little bit too far. So what I ended up doing is I bent them back, and then I just gave them a little bit of a gap. You can see a little bit of a gap there, a little bit there. You might be able to get away with more. I just chose to go that direction. I didn't choose to go crazy. And as you can see, the way it would have been, it'd have been loose, kind of like this. But when you turn those pieces down a little bit, I've got just bulbs falling all over here, just trying to break on me, I tell you. When you get these in, like that, you have no movement whatsoever. Nothing. I'm probably going to put a little bit of seal because I don't trust these housings, even though they do have the nice breather ports on them, which is nice. So those are the two modifications I know of thus far. To fit them in your truck, I know you do have to cut out, I believe you have to cut out a section of the body behind the fender to make the bulbs fit, but that's neither here nor there. That will be in the next part of this video, or the next video, probably the next video in the series. The other thing I'm going to be doing, I don't know if you guys know this or not, is making the high and low, both of these, however they go, work together on high beams. So you have your high beam and your low beam on while you're using your high beams. I just feel that that'll give me a lot more light, and when people flash me, I'll be able to be like, hey, my high beams are definitely not on. That's kind of a dick move, but you know what? Sometimes it gets old getting flashed by people because you're just trying to have a decent set of headlights so you can see where you're going. People are like, you're using LEDs, HIDs, and normal housings. It's like, I'm only one of the billion trillion people on Earth doing it. It's probably not that high, I understand. But there's so many people doing it. I mean, really, you're going to single me out? A lot of people do it. I'm sorry. If I had the amount of money or the skill to retrofit OEM projector housings or even the cheaper aftermarket versions into headlights, I would do it. I would, but I don't understand the whole process. I've even had people walk me through it. It's just more than what I'm willing to do and willing to spend. And this works. And you know what? It is what it is. Have your opinion, but that's where it ends. So thanks for watching, guys. Comment, rate, and subscribe. Check out the next video if you want to check out a little bit of it's kind of an unboxing, kind of my review on just these housings, not the cheap LEDs, but these cheap housings. Go the video before this. I'll have at the end of the video the two videos with annotations to get to them. But there you guys have it. The next one will be either modifying the truck, showing you the wiring on how to get the high and low to work at the same time, or pulling out the other headlight and modifying that one. You can expect either 3 videos or one big long one that explains all of that. But until that time comes, thanks for watching, guys, and tune in to the next one. Thanks.